Hip-hop is in a weird place. It's so old that it's started to sample itself at this point. We've started to see more and more beats just sampling old hip-hop songs, and this brings up an interesting question. Has hip-hop become unoriginal? Are producers just out of ideas? Let's explore this by breaking down some of these beats that sample older beats and talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly so we can decide whether this is truly a sign of bad things to come. Now I think a good place to start is by looking at some examples of copy and paste sampling. Recently, there's been a lot of talks about songs like this NLE Chopper track, Hot in Here, which samples Nelly's Hot in Here. And when this song came out, people were upset, largely because this beat is an example of an older beat mostly just being copy and pasted with some small adjustments. And we've started to see more and more of these iconic songs being sampled, like Still DRE,
Still Dre Day, AK. Though I've grown a lot, can't keep it home a lot.
being turned into a trap beat. And there are even songs that aren't even that old turned into samples. For example, this Travis Scott song from 2016.
Don't you sit close to the TV, look boy.
Being used in a Lil Uzi Vert song just 4 years later.
You is a lie, you is not come from these sides.
So let me throw this question to you. Is taking another person's beat and copying and pasting it and only making small changes considered lazy? Well, if we say yes, what is the difference between this and a song like It Was a Good Day by Ice Cube?
Just waking up in the morning, gotta thank God.
Which you could argue does this very same thing with an Isley Brothers song. Now, It Was a Good Day is one of my favorite songs of all time, but I can't act like the difference here between these two examples is night and day. Is this example more acceptable because it samples a different genre, or is it the time difference between the song and the sample that matters? What techniques are required so sampling goes from copying to creative? And does hip-hop sampling hip-hop only seem uncomfortable because it reminds us that the cold hand of death is ever slowly creeping upon all of us? I don't know. But here's some good news. There are examples where these questions become easier to answer, where hip-hop producers have done a better job of sampling older hip-hop beats. So let's talk about these beats and see if we can figure out what makes these better examples of sampling old hip-hop beats. One great song that does this is OG by JPEG Mafia.
This is closed casket, this flow's mastered. I'm a whole has-been, I know it's tough, we're spitting.
Now to me, here's what makes this a better example of hip-hop sampling hip-hop, but done well. Number one, it's not as if the sample comes from an already iconic song. Here is the sample that was used.
Just ice when it comes to a rhyme. Run it up, you better make it on time. I take my...
Now, was this an insanely popular song from the 80s? I don't think so. Looking at the artist's profile, this song isn't even in their top 5 most listened to. And even when you look at the album the sample comes from, it's not even the most popular song off the album either. So instead of using an already iconic song, here we have something more obscure being used. But even the way this song is produced is also what makes it stand out. Yes, there are sections of this beat where it merely just loops sections from the original sample. But there are plenty of parts in this beat where there's a lot of chopping and rearranging to create something more original. Throughout this entire beat, we see JPEG Mafia going the extra mile, creating switch-ups, using different chops at different pitches, and so much more. So to me, this is what helps it sound more original. But is it only because this beat uses a sample that isn't all that popular? Is it because so much work was done to the production? Well, let's take a look at another song, Cop Shot the Kid, produced by Kanye West.
See a few dames, exchange some names. I'm a top shot, the kid, stay in your lane.
Which samples Slick Rick's Children's Story, which is arguably his most popular song and one of the most famous tracks in hip-hop ever.
Dave, the dope fiend shooting dope. Who don't know the meaning of words? I know it's so. I need bullets. Hurry up, run.
So what makes this example different? Well, you'll notice with Slick Rick, he uses horns and pianos and a jumpy bass line, and those are the main ideas in his beat. Now, is this what Kanye uses when he samples this song? No. Instead, he uses this unusual beat idea where he samples a vocal phrase that's said by Slick Rick.
The cop shot the kid, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot, the cop shot.
So here we don't see a producer merely just copying and pasting another producer's beat. Not only that, we see him introducing his own sounds and ideas. During the hook, Kanye pitches the vocals down and brings in these soft chords.
The cop shot the kid, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot the kid, the cop shot.
So this to me is yet another way that hip-hop sampling hip-hop is done well. Even though a popular song is being sampled here, what is being sampled within that song is more original and unique. But there's another non-obvious example of hip-hop sampling hip-hop, but in a more unusual and unique way. I'm sure you remember this huge song here by Kid Cudi.
Crush a bit, little bit, roll it up, take a hit.
Well, this is actually sampled by Schoolboy Q for his song Hands on the Wheel.
Life for me is just weed and brews. See the whole flock to you when your name is Q.
But as you can hear, this sounds nothing like Kid Cudi's song. Now why? Well, here we see an indirect example of hip-hop sampling hip-hop. The producer's best kept secret decided to sample Lizzie's cover of Kid Cudi. So here we have a hip-hop song getting turned into a folk pop song and then turned right back into a hip-hop song. And it feels like this change in genre in between is what helps Schoolboy Q's beats sound more original instead of a hip-hop ripoff. So what do you think? Is hip-hop sampling hip-hop a sign of doom, or can it be done well with originality? Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd be interested to see what the chatter is. If you enjoyed this video, by the way, check out this one right next to me. It's a very good video essay on beat making. Like and subscribe, all that other stuff. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.